go.
4,
All
3,
right.
Yes.
2.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Bean Apple. We got Jim and Mike. Hopefully, John will be joining us. We don't know if he's too drunk or if he's just completely MIA from that Patriots loss. So we're still waiting. We got an APB out on him, so hopefully we hear back from law enforcement and he's okay. But
he's not celebrating. I know that.
He's sulking with Cam Newton.
Yeah, they're trying on dresses and talking about how bad the game was. So yeah. So
did he do a post game press conference? I missed it. If he did, I'm gonna have to look it up because he's great when he does nothing. He's great after the game to listen to.
Right. Yep. So yeah, we're live doing our reactions from at least two of the games, and if not, we're just gonna pick on the Patriots and wait until John shows up to defend him or some listeners jump in to defend. So,
maybe we were too tough. Maybe we were too tough on the Jets after losing to Denver. I mean, they manhandled the Patriots. Let's just put it out. They manhandled the Patriots. And the only reason the game was as close as it was because Denver was a little bit too inept on offense to score, right? Everything was a field goal. And then B is just bad coaching because they were beating them so badly. Then they were throwing the ball at the end of the game. Patriots intercepted 2 passes in like the last 5. That's the only reason why it got that close. The game should have been a blowout.
The game was just disgusting all around.
Yeah.
I mean, that was for a Patriots fan, like we talked about prior to this, there's kids or grown men that have never seen a Patriots team without Tom Brady. And now you've got a team that just put up 12 points against the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock. And I mean, that's,
and then you get to watch Brady. You get to watch Brady light up Rodgers down in Tampa against Green Bay today. So just to really rub that salt in, right? We have nothing. We go to quarterback leaves, and what did he throw? 5 touchdowns today or whatever? I mean, yeah.
To beat the 4-0 Packers.
Yeah.
Who looked really good. Yeah. How much do you think Brady's loving that? But,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Belichick's aging very quickly with Cam Newton as his quarterback. He's not living that high life anymore. But just an ugly game. I mean, the Patriots had no business losing that game, and the Broncos had no business winning that game, really, to be honest. It was just a game that should have just not existed because it was just bad football all around. Like Drew Lock, 10 for 24, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they win the game.
2 picks.
How?
Big picks at the end.
I mean, sorry, not 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sorry, excuse me. 189 yards and no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and they win the game.
Yep.
It makes no sense. I guess the Patriots did the Patriots thing, right? They decided to take Jerry Jeudy out of the game, right? With what do you have, 2 for 32? So congratulations. That's the only thing that I could see them doing because they didn't stop Philip Lindsay, 23 for 101. He didn't have a touchdown, but still broke 100 yards. So that's the only thing I could think they were trying to do was stop Jerry Jeudy from beating them, which if that's what you consider to win, good job. But it's awesome from a Jets perspective and the disgusting game that we just put up to see the Patriots at least
2-3, the 2-3 Patriots. Let's just get that up.
Yes, the first time since 2002 that the Patriots.
When your quarterback completes 10 passes, you shouldn't win.
No,
it's a passing league. You shouldn't win.
Right.
But they ran the ball 37 times.
Yep.
Whatever. I love it.
Oh, it's great. Cam Newton, 2 interceptions,
right,
as well.
If only the Jets had something going on this year, this would have been the year.
Yeah.
This could have been the year, right?
Right.
No, it's Fitzmagic who you got rid of.
Oh,
right. It's Fitzmagic and it's Buffalo. Oh.
Yeah. Listen, I told you this was going to be an ugly game. That Fitz is the poor man's Russell Wilson. He just throws the ball all over the field, and when he's hot, he's hot. I mean, he did throw the two picks today, right? That one pick was probably the interception of the year. Marcus May traps it basically behind his back, going down to the ground, right? But it felt like that game could have been a lot worse than 24-0. Probably should have been a lot worse. When you have 93 yards at halftime,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Right.
What is there to say about this team, Joe? Give me something.
Let's look for the positives. I'll give you till tomorrow.
I don't really know. It's the only thing I could say in this is there were watching this game. I can honestly say I can't blame Adam Gase for everything because there were plays on that final drive. There are plays on that final drive where we should have had a touchdown. That there were wide receivers open in the end zone, and Flacco just was not paying any attention, not looking at them, and then throwing to them way too late. There was one where Jeff Smith he went out, cut across to the right, and he was wide open for like 6 or 7 steps, and then the defender caught back up with him, and Flacco overthrew him in the corner of the end zone when he was covered, but wide open going across the middle, and just didn't even see him until it was way too late. So that should have been an easy touchdown.
But he was running for his life most of the game too, and getting smacked all over the place. I mean,
no, just absolutely destroyed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
yeah. He didn't have a lot of time to throw, but even when he did have time to throw, he was missing receivers. I mean, the whole thing it's a circus act. So before the game, you have they caught CBS caught Gase and Greg Williams, kind of in an argument on the sideline before the game. And the whole thing is stupid, right? So you got that going on. Then, no offense. I mean, and let me tell you, when I watch Flacco, he just looks like he's got this look on his face called, "What was I thinking? Why did I want to do this? And how soon is Sam Darnold back?" Now, which also says something a little bit about Darnold because, 2 games that Flacco's led, he's led them to 10 points against Arizona and Miami. Not exactly 2 powerhouse defenses, right? Flacco is 40 of 77 in his 2 games for 380 yards. I think Josh Allen had more passing yards than that in 1 game this year, right? At 400 and something. A number of quarterbacks. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. And if you wanted me to get into the game by game, some of the play-by-play stuff, because you know how we roll. The Jets come 3 and out. They're the masters of 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
They come out and first down, Frank Gore. Frank Gore left tackle, 3 yards. Come on. So 3 and out, we punt. Actually, the defense today played decent. The defense played okay. I said they had the 2 turnovers earlier. They had a number of 3 and outs. Miami was like 0 for the first 7 third down conversions. Unfortunately, the Jets were 2 of 17 on third down conversions. I think they missed their first like 11 or 12 or something that they had done. But this is the kind of stuff that kills me. And you said you can't blame Gase. I blame Gase for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Let me tell you. So here's Miami gets the ball. They score. We get the ball. And we start driving down the field. So we have mostly dinks and dunks down. We get the ball, 3rd and 2 on the Miami 24-yard line, and it's a game still. And all of a sudden we have the botched snap, the fumble. Flacco falls on it, and now it's 4th and 18. We're on the 40. Sorry, on the 34. We're on the 34. So it's a 51-yard field goal. But we're not going to take the field goal attempt there. We're definitely not going to go for it because it's 4th and 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kick, we punt, and naturally we're punted into the end zone, so they come right back out to the 20. So we kick the field goal. It's 51-yard field goal. You have a kicker that hasn't missed all year long. All year long, he hasn't missed a kick. Okay, so now let's fast forward to the end of the 3rd quarter. Okay, so the game it's 24-0. We're getting smoked again, and we have a drive that comes to 6 plays, dinky drive, but we have it 4th and we have a 3rd and 1, and we get an intentional grounding penalty because Flacco is again one of those running for his life plays, tries to throw it away.
Right.
So it's 4th and 14 from the 37. Now we wouldn't try a 51-yarder, but we're going to try a 57-yarder. End of the 3rd when we're already down by 24 points. Like who's deciding what happens here? And at what point is somebody going to say? I saw Joe Douglas because they kept showing him, and he was looking at his phone, and I just hope he was taking notes on his phone to have more
No.
fodder to feed Christopher Johnson to say, and look at this play, and look at this play, because he just has to go. So we wound up missing the field goal, and then we never get close again, really. So
when he was looking at his phone there, the announcers were quick to point out that he didn't bring Gase in. He inherited Gase.
Yeah.
So they were quick to bring that out. Like maybe he's looking on his phone for who's available. Right? He's checking the help wanted. I don't know. Looking at he's looking at LinkedIn to see who's available. But yeah, brutal. So two things. I hate the Jets, right? You guys know that. I can't stay. I don't watch the Jets, but I watched a little bit today just to kind of see what the hell happens with this team. And so a couple things that I noticed. One, Flacco was audibling. I couldn't believe that. So Darnold's not allowed to, but Flacco was calling audibles. So I guess he changed his kind of his thinking there.
Flacco's older.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, but he's allowed to do it. What's he going to do? Get fired? Was he going to get benched? No, nothing. Nothing's going to happen. So Darnold, when he comes back, should do the same thing. Whatever the play is, no, I'm calling my own play. So another thing was, after the game. So after the game, it's all smiles and everybody's hanging out on the field. Miami, like there's no rivalry. There's nothing. Everyone was just shaking hands, talking, laughing. I see the Jets players smiling and laughing. And I think about you two who are ready to burn down everything you got. And they're having a party there. Hey, where are we going for dinner after this? Hey, it's like it's nothing. You guys are 0-6 now. And it was nothing. I mean, how is that not even a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, come
it's
on.
Because they know. They know exactly what this year is, and it's
so how could you not even have any emotion? You're not even upset that you're not winning, that nothing's going on. You got shut out. So we talked about Jason Garrett going to Dallas, right? And this is your chance to open up your bag of tricks and go against your old team. Gase goes down to Miami. Can't even get 1 point. Not even 1 point. You guys don't even get 1 point. Not even. Come on.
Gase's career record is 30-40. Okay, yeah. And he's got, I think it was 21 losses. No, 31 losses. I think I heard by double digits or more. 31. His record with the Jets is now 7-15.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Seven losses by 20 points or more.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and he's been out. The Jets have been outscored 114-29 in the first half. You could just keep going on and on and on and on. It just needs to be burned down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything needs to be burned down. And Douglas needs to go find a head coach and a whole new coaching staff that all report to him. And Christopher Johnson needs to go away. And that's when it's going to start getting better.
Yeah, it's disgusting all around. But like I told you guys as well, like Joe Douglas likes to pretend that he's letting Gase take all the heat for this. But what was his priority this offseason? Was drafting Mekhi Becton 5th overall when you could have had one of a number of rookie wide receivers going ballistic this year. You look at Justin Jefferson again today, 2 touchdowns, like 166 yards. You've got just a ton of young talent, with Judy and Ruggs and Lamb. And
but what would you do with it? Gase wouldn't know how to use them.
He wouldn't.
He would not know how to use them.
But
look at LaMichael Pirine.
Yeah, he just refuses to use them.
He got less touches than Gore. Why does he get less touches than Gore? Dump Gore. He put him on the bench.
He didn't get a touch.
Gore.
He didn't get a touch.
85 years old.
Till the 3rd series of the game.
Gore's 85. He comes out and he hands off to Gore on first down. It's like every time.
Right. So the only thing that I could think now at this point, and I was telling my wife, is Adam Gase must owe somebody in South Florida money. That is telling him you will sign Frank Gore and you will run Frank Gore, or your family's dead or something of that nature. Because there's no other what else makes sense? He had Kenyon Drake down there in Miami, never didn't use him, went with Frank Gore instead, and then Drake's done nothing this year, but as soon as he went to Arizona, he went crazy. Now he comes up here. You've got Le'Veon Bell. whether he's who he was or not, he's still a talent, and he's still a talent above Frank Gore, and you don't utilize him. You ship him out. He gets his love of his life back in the number one spot, Frank Gore, and lets him run wild. When you've got P. Ryan, everybody we drafted this year is not playing.
Except
I don't
Beckham.
understand it. And he's hurt. So yeah, so Becton's out. Mims hasn't seen the field since July.
No.
Who's our third round pick? Zanaga, right?
Yeah, he's not playing.
Defensive end who's been on the IR the whole time. Fourth round pick was P. Ryan, who they don't want to use. Fifth round pick was
the quarterback,
James
Morgan. I'd rather see him.
Right.
Get him in there.
Put
He
him
can't
in.
play. He can't play. So let me just tell you what our brilliant offensive mind of a coach does. Drive number 1, first down and 10, Frank Gore, left tackle. Okay. Drive number 2, first down, Frank Gore, left tackle. Drive number 4, Frank Gore, right tackle. Drive number 5, Frank Gore, right tackle. I mean, come on.
Right.
I mean, you're all set for play action there.
Yeah.
Right?
Please.
He's going to do it again.
Give me something. Give me something different.
I mean, but the thing is, there's no plan. It doesn't matter who you guys bring in. Nothing's going to change. The rest of this year, the next year, nothing's going to change. It's the same thing every year. Every year.
So that's why, listen to this. Don't fire Gase.
You're going to burn your Jets gear?
If you bring in somebody else, they may actually something game. Right? They may actually use the talent differently. Let's just lose every game. Like, I can't wait for the season to be over. I can't wait for January. Just finish it. So I don't have to watch this nonsense anymore. And I can look forward to the draft. And then, hopefully it's the number 1 pick and we go from there. But if you bring in somebody else, it may sometimes those things, revitalize the organization. They do things different. They call different plays. Mm-hmm. Although, you could get – you could also get stupid plays too, like going for 2, like Romeo Crennel did when he was already up 7, instead of going up 8 against Tennessee. Right? But anyway, maybe we shouldn't fire him, is what I'm saying. Let him stay in there.
What do the Jets fans out there think? I mean, now, I mean, to hear, I just want my season to be over because I hate watching my team, makes me think it's time for a new team. Right? I mean, how could any Jet fan out there be thinking, well, next year, because anyone that's our age knows nothing's ever happened. Nothing ever happens. 50 years of nothing. 50 years of nothing. And still people buy the merchandise and somebody new gets drafted and they buy the jersey and think it's going to be the savior and nothing changes ever. Nothing ever changes for the Jets. And you two are loyal as anything that stay there and wear the hat and drink from the Jet cups and, somehow still watch. I mean, there's still ratings even. The fact that I would just not even show them on TV. Put on, The Sound of Music instead. Wasn't that the the movie they put on at the end of the Super Bowl there? You missed the end of the Super Bowl one year? But just disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't know how Jets fans, like I said, at least the Giants come up every once in a while and they win a Super Bowl and then they drop down for a while. But then they come up. So in my lifetime, we've had 4 championships.
But even still, the Giants were 0-5 too, and the Jets were 0-5.
Yeah.
The Giants come out, and they've been competitive in every game except San Fran. Every game.
Yeah.
They've been leading in a number of games.
Yeah.
I mean, have the Jets been ahead? Like, I can't even.
You have to look that up.
They were ahead of Denver.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've been ahead any other time.
No, that's it. That was the first time we've had a lead in a game, and the last time we've had a lead in a game. So yeah, the whole thing's disgusting. But again, like I was saying with Joe Douglas, like his whole thing was to revamp that offensive line, and that offensive line is arguably worse than it was last year. Like the Miami.
Did you see Flacco today?
Yeah, the Dolphins players were going through it like it was fucking paper. It was like when you see the high school kids bust through that little go team sign at the beginning. That's about as much resistance as that offensive line was putting up.
Let me give you the other side of that, though. I mean, you don't just build a wall and it stands like that. You have to have some chemistry there. You got to know you just need time playing together, so you know who you're getting when two guys are coming, like that. And then the running backs too. Now Bell's not there. Now we got this other guy all of a sudden, Ty. What was his name? Ty Johnson or something like that.
Yeah,
He
from the line.
he's getting carries off the practice squad over P Ryan. So now he's got to do blitz pickups too. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So I like at least what I like about Douglas is he's at least investing in line. At least he knows what he has to do, And maybe he picked up some of the wrong guys that Van Rotten. I call him Van Rotten. He's not very good, But listen, Becton was hurt, and they just had some injuries. I don't know. I think he's on the right path.
Yeah, I know you believe in him. Each week my belief in him goes down. I wanted to. I liked the pedigree that he has. I like what he's come from. But he had this whole offseason to put together a line. This is week 6, and that line still looks like it's
coaching though.
It's a speed dating.
He can't coach like. Too. Should he go out and get him and then coach him up too?
Well, you shouldn't really have to coach him up that much. They're offensive linemen. They're all veterans. They've all been playing, except for Becton, who unfortunately is the best player on that offensive line when he was in, which is saying something, right? Like if your rookie coming in his first game rates higher than everybody else on the offensive line that's been playing this game for at least 4 years. I mean, what does that tell you? We're in week 6 now, and the offensive line still does not look like it's gelled at all. They can't stop anything. His whole draft class now is not producing. When, like we talked about, there's players that came out of this draft that are just lighting it up on defense, on offense, everywhere. Even look at Swift today for the Lions. Went ballistic when they finally decided to stop giving Adrian Peterson the ball, gave him the ball. He went crazy. Like there's rookies all over the place, all over this league, and ours can't even get on the field. And Joe Douglas drafting a backup quarterback in the 5th round made me question things immediately. Like his entire draft class made me start questioning him. And now looking at what the offensive line that was his focus, that was his baby. That was all he was worried about. And it sucks. So I'm not impressed right now. I know a lot of people, and that's kind of like the only ray of hope that Jets fans have right now is that Joe Douglas could come in and turn this thing around and right the ship. But right now the ship isn't in any better shape than it was a year ago when he took over. And I know McCagnon was not a good GM, and I know he made a lot of shitty draft picks, and you could tell by the fact that there's no, Quinnen Williams is the oldest 1st-round draft pick on this team, which is 2 years ago, right? So, outside of Sam, but you look at what this team is, and there's nothing there. It's just, and where are we going? Obviously it's Trevor Lawrence. We were talking about that as well. You watch his game against Georgia Tech there, and I think it was Georgia Tech or Georgia, whatever. It really doesn't matter. It was like 73-7, so it doesn't matter who they were playing. But he was ridiculous. I was watching those highlights. He's looking defenders off. He's dropping, just buckets on the guys, just perfectly in step. Nobody's like, you see that a lot with Sam. He can't throw a pass and lead a receiver. Everybody's coming back for the ball, which sucks. But Trevor was just throwing bullets, just dropping dimes on receivers, leading them perfectly, looking defenders off, scrambling. The kid definitely looks like the real deal. And now that the Giants, thank God, got a win, and the Falcons destroyed
Minnesota
Vikings. So now the Jets are in the driver's seat for Trevor Lawrence right now. And I know I said before that I would stick with Sam and take that haul. And Mike, you said the same thing, but I don't know if you could pass on this kid. I really don't. That is a Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady type of impact quarterback that you could have back there. And like I said, you got $100 million potentially in free agent money to spend in the offseason. You got the first pick, which means, and you've also got Seattle's pick. You've got the first pick in round 2 as well. So you're going to get somebody that slips there. So there's 3 really good players that you're taking in the draft early on. You've got $100 million to spend in free agency. You're going to have a new coach. There's something to look forward to.
He's never coming out if he's going to the Jets. It's everyone knows it.
It doesn't matter.
You have Darnold. That's it.
We'll
There's no way the kid is coming out and going to play with the Jets jersey on. No chance.
We will have the first pick in the draft next year as well, if that's the case. So it won't matter. He's never going to play professional football, or he's going to be in the green and white. Like that's his choice right now. Do I want to come out and get paid this year, or do I want to wait a year and then come out and get paid? Like that's kind of.
Yeah, I hear you. But my thinking is, so if I'm him, and it's like, hey, you're going to be number one, and the Jets are 0-16, and they're taking you, I'm staying in school. Because where am I going? Is he looking to be the savior that turns around the Jets like Theo Epstein did with Boston? I don't think so. They're not going to win. You're not going to win all of a sudden just because you have him.
I don't see why you would stay, right? Like Joe Burrow wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go to Cincinnati. I'm going to stay behind. Tua wasn't like, oh, I could be the first pick. I'm going to stay in school again. I'm not going to, like nobody shied away from Cincinnati. No, the best quarterback coming out if you're the best, you're going to a shitty team. That's just the way it is. Yeah. And because that's the team that needs you the most. So to say that you're going to stay in school because you don't want to go to a shitty team, then you better suck. You better stay in school and absolutely suck. So you get drafted in like the 5th round by Baltimore or something like that as a backup quarterback. But if you want to start, you're going to.
But you look at those two teams, Cincinnati. Okay, they tied the Eagles. They won. Did they win today, or did they end up? No, they blew it. They blew it again. But competitive. They've been in the games. They've been in games
because of Joe Burrow.
Yes. So
Last year they were a train wreck.
Right. Well.
They were lucky. They were lucky they won one game last year.
Right.
Their kicker has blown 2 games for them. They would have 2 games. Their kicker's blown.
Right. So you're thinking just like Burrow went to Cincinnati, and all of a sudden he's been in games.
Yeah.
He's actually won more games than the Jets. And then if Lawrence comes in, they're going to be on the same path. The Jets are the plane's ready to. The Jets going to start taking off.
You literally can't go any lower. They're basically last in every defensive category. They're last in every offensive category. I mean, shit, they got lucky that they converted a 3rd down today. They got 1 3rd down conversion, which was an absolute miracle to see. I mean, it can't get worse, right?
So if either one of you were him, are you going to come and play starting quarterback for the Jets?
Yeah, I'm not staying another year. I'm going to get paid my rookie contract and get out of that as fast as I can and try to make big money.
And try and get traded to another team. Yeah.
I don't think that when you're like the quarterback of a team, I think you just have this natural leadership ability and competitive nature that you want to have that challenge and build that up, I think. I mean, especially to go to a team that hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 50 years, you'll be the next Joe Namath.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Nick Foles, right? Nick Foles wins in Philly, and now no matter what happens ever again, he was the guy that did it. So there's something to that, but
Yeah, I think you've got to, and like I said, this team is going to get better, right? Like if you have Trevor Lawrence, like I said, wherever Seattle finishes this year, you're still got their 1st round pick. So you're still getting 2 first rounders. It's going to be a late 1st round pick, but it doesn't matter. And then early 2nd, every year you see guys fall into the first 10 picks of the 2nd round that everybody expected to be a 1st round draft pick. So you're essentially getting 3 first round draft picks out of next year's draft. The number 1 overall, and then 2 other, later, but still very talented guys, and $100 million that you could spend on some impact players. And I'm not going to say that that's going to fix the Jets, right? But you get CJ Mosley back next year. That's a very, very nice piece to have running the defense. You bring in a couple. I mean, he can't sit out 2 years in a row, right? And even if he does, he's never going to play football again because the year just pushes off another one. Like it's not like he could just sit out the rest of his contract. It just defers to the next year. So, he's still under contract with the Jets no matter how many years.
Unless he retires.
Yeah, he would never have to play football again. That would have to be his choice: is either come back next year just retire, which I don't see.
Can I add one more thing about the pathetic nature of Adam Gase and his play? I've been talking about this every recap show. I don't think we've come out of the half with a first down yet. How are you the first play after halftime was a Frank Gore left tackle for -2 yards. I mean, what are you thinking of? What are you looking at when you're in the locker room to come out and say Frank Gore left tackle?
Right.
That's I mean, and you know what, Flacco? He deserves to get smacked in the face with that goofy look and that stupid beard. He should get the call and say, no. Frank Gore, I've already seen enough of this.
Right.
Oh, okay. This is my sixth. I've played 6 quarters. I've seen enough of this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing Frank Gore left tackle.
Right.
Okay. I'm doing whatever, but it's not that.
No. And like you talked about, like you look at let's look at the rushing numbers. They still somehow had 115 yards rushing, which makes no sense considering the game was over by the second quarter and they should have been throwing the ball, but they were still running it. But like we talked about, 11 carries for Frank Gore for 46 yards, a 4.2 yard average. LaMichael Pirine, who's supposed to be the guy that they're looking at and pushing, 7 carries for 27 and a 3.9 yard average. Frank Gore's longest was 14. Pirine's was 13. So you've got 2 guys that are basically mirroring each other. Why are you not giving the rookie a chance? Yeah,
you got to get into the rhythm, get into the flow of the game.
Right. Let this kid.
You got to get going.
Yep. And all Gase talked about in the preseason was how explosive Pirine looked. Right. Like even in the scrimmage games, he busted that like 75-yard touchdown when the offense could do nothing. And way back then when we should have seen all of these precursors coming when, when they had the green and white scrimmage game and the first team offense lost to the second team. First team offense and defense got blown out by the second team offense and defense, if you remember that.
Yeah, those scrimmages, yeah.
Yeah, got destroyed. The first teams got destroyed by the second teams. And, surprise, surprise, the first team offense and defense is getting destroyed by every NFL team that they play against. Like, but the one shining thing that you could look at was LaMichael Pirine actually looked pretty damn good, and I was excited to see it. And like we talked about, Gase won't give him a shot. He just will not let Frank Gore ride off into the sunset and just be a mentor, be somebody that helps develop Pirine. He won't let this kid develop. You don't develop by watching Frank Gore run. You develop by running the ball and then Frank Gore telling you what you need to do better.
But somebody's got to step up, and it's probably Douglas has to say the Gase. You ever see Moneyball? You ever see Billy Bean telling Art Howe, I want Hatterberg at first. I don't want Pena at first. And he wouldn't do it. Then he got rid of Pena. And he said, now Hatterberg's at first. Too bad. So Douglas has to say, if I see Gore in the lineup, I'm cutting him. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Somebody has to take control of the team, and no one does. And for Douglas to be sitting up there in the rafters watching this over and over at 0-6, he doesn't. Let's see if something happens this week. If he makes any moves or even says anything to the media, but it's
no.
I would have jumped ship already. I don't know. I mean,
right. So Gase is owned by the Italian mafia in South Florida. Something happened down there when he was with Miami, and he's in debt to them. And
right.
Christopher Johnson is tied up in a closet somewhere. And these guys and Joe Douglas is just in the middle. Like, I don't know what to do. If I let him out of the closet, I'm screwed. I got Gase over here that's owned by the mafia. There's no return.
So
Douglas has to do something.
Let me just give you a glimpse into the next 2.5, 3 months. Bills loss. Chiefs lost big. Chiefs lose big. Patriots lose. Chargers lose big, probably to Herbert. The Dolphins lose. Raiders lose. Seahawks blown out. Rams blown out. Browns lose. Patriots lose. They're not going to win.
No, like John said at the end, they'll probably win a game or two, and he'll get the number 2 pick.
No. No,
The Patriots will lay down just so the Patriots in week 16 or whatever the last game is, they'll lay down on purpose to give you guys, if there's a chance to get you out of the one hole.
there's no win. That's why maybe keeping Gase because nothing.
Right.
You don't want to win a game, right? You get my.
Of course not.
We don't want to win a game now.
Of course not.
Lose every game, be a complete embarrassment,
Yeah.
and maybe we could fire him. Actually, you know what? Even if you do fire him soon, it probably won't make a difference.
Nothing's going to change.
Well, that was what my point was last week. Is why, at this point, what do you gain from firing Gase? There's nobody else to look at. You know, it's not like it's.
I'd rather look at anybody else. I hate looking at him.
Well,
I hate looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean physically. I mean to show
I
us any
do.
potential. But
Can't stand looking
there's
at him.
just what are you going to put? Like
Press conferences.
Make a player coach like Pete Rose used to do, a player manager.
maybe that's how we can get rid of Frank Gore.
There you go. Make him.
Because we can make him the coach.
Players from the
That would be genius. But yeah,
there you go. Hashtag that Gore for head coach.
Right.
There's your new hashtag for tonight. Frank Gore, next head coach.
there's no way out of it. And even if you fire Gase, like you said, the talent on this team is just abysmal. Like there's
Well, you know, now I saw Sabini was writing an article about is it fire sale time? You know, I mean, people are going to be sniffing around for Quinnen Williams. You know, someone wants to give up a number one pick for Quinnen Williams. I'm probably taking it. You know, I'm done with these interior lineman guys. He's got like 2 sacks on the year.
right.
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 You know, maybe Perryman. I wouldn't trade those guys, but you know, I would trade him. I would trade Marcus May. You know, he seems like he's disappeared, although he had that pick today. But he comes out in the first game, he's got like 2 sacks. He's all over the field, and then all of a sudden, he's like not even on the stat sheet.
Right. They should do that, but what the Jets will do is just cut those guys. They won't even trade them. They won't get anything back. They'll just say, just take a walk, and then they're gone.
Yeah. And that
If we're going to pay you, we'll pay you to go play somewhere else. Get out of here.
that excuse that they put out for cutting Le'Veon Bell, so they didn't have to worry about his $8 million injury contract, injury
Clause.
clause. Yeah, thank you. Like that is the most bullshit answer I've ever heard to anything in my life. Like my son can give me a better excuse for why he did something stupid than that. Like we're too worried about Le'Veon Bell getting hurt, so we're going to just cut him. If you're that worried about it, just bench him.
Right.
If that's
You're not even using him. You're not even using him.
Right. Bench him until you find a trade partner. You've got until October 29th to find a trade partner. Somebody will give you a 7th round pick for Le'Veon Bell. It's just
They were worried about the $8 million in case he got hurt, but they're okay paying him $6 million to play in Kansas City,
right.
and then $14 million next year. That was okay. But what if he gets turf toe and can't play? Then we're gonna have to kick. No, come on. I mean, there's no way that's what happened. There's no way. That makes no sense.
You cut him.
It's like, did you even read? Did you write that down before you said it to the media? Because no.
Did you say it out loud to hear what it actually sounds like when you come out?
Usually you do stuff like that in front of a mirror first before you go live.
Right.
Come on.
Right. See if you could keep a straight face as you say it. We have cut Le'Veon Bell to save $8 million on his end. No, I can't say it. We got
$8 million that we may not have to pay. What we are paying is the $6 million. Right. We are paying that. So
So you're worried about $2 million.
What are you talking about?
The team almost has $100 million in free agent cap space, and you're worried about $2 million for arguably the most talented player on this team, which is saying something, obviously, but it's $2 million. It's nothing. It's nothing for what he provides. Like, and you're worried about paying him that. Like
No.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't. So yeah, congratulations. You saved yourself an $8 million injury clause. Thank you for paying $6 million for him to go help the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. That's great. So
JETS.
So when does he get fired? Really?
Gase?
I mean, it could be tomorrow. It could be tomorrow.
It should. You just lost 24-0 to your former team. The 3rd time you've lost in 2 years to your former team. And guess how many times you've played your former team? 3 times. And you've gotten the shit kicked out of you every time you've played your former team What does that say? Yeah. Why is he still?
I said the preseason you would be 0-4 and you'd be fired. Now you're 0-6. It's coming soon, but
yeah. But Mike, we talked about this. This was our best chance. Well, no, the second Dolphins game at home, but now that they split that up, that basically and you just shown it doesn't matter if we play them there at home. We couldn't do anything. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. If that was the first time that they've shut out the Jets since 1982. Did you see that?
Yeah.
1982 was the last time the Dolphins shut the Jets out.
Yeah. It was Fitzpatrick as quarterback.
It probably was.
And I think Frank Gore was in that game too.
It was Fitzpatrick's rookie year.
It's just disgusting. This team, like I said, we're I was telling my wife, I am so glad that my son's only 5 years old, because we'll go winless. This will be one of the worst teams in the history of football, and he'll be too young to really remember it. He'll just hopefully grow up in like the Trevor Lawrence era, and there'll be something like positive, like
Don't even tell me. Don't even. You live in Seattle. Make him a Seahawks fan. Don't ruin his life.
No, that's your job as a father, is to make sure
you have a chance. You got a chance to right the wrong. Come on.
It's family sticks together, and he's
right down the thing. Yeah.
He's going to be
in the Meadowlands. I don't know if you saw in the Meadowlands. Actually, the team that actually lives there won. Right, not the renters that we rent out to. So the Giants finally, somebody in the Meadowlands win a game. So now we're 1-9. Is that what it is between the two? And I mean, so John called this game as 16-13, that it would be a defensive battle and low scoring. And yeah, he was right. I mean, it was 2019. We win by 1 point. But I'll tell you, couple things I was excited about. One, we never felt we weren't behind the whole game. Unlike what you guys are talking about, we had the lead or tied the whole game, and that's not normal right now this year. But the defense, I thought, played a good game, even though there was a ton of yardage that got given up. I think it was, what did I see in here? 577, I think it was, in total yards. 24 first downs for Washington. Washington won the time of possession. Had 2 turnovers to the Giants 1, but. A lot of long drives. I want to say both teams only punted once. So there was a lot of just moving the sticks, getting up and down the field, a lot of yardage. But it went right down to the end. I mean, and there were a couple of key plays. I don't know if either one of you guys saw this game or not, but we talked about Daniel Jones tucking and running, right? So we said, we need to be able to do that. Man, the camera, he fooled the cameras. So it looked like you saw that?
Yep.
I mean, the cameras watch Devontae get crushed in the backfield, and it's like, no ball. Just like in some of the movies that you watch where they do a trick play. And Jones runs for 49 yards down the sideline, which is unbelievable. And they actually caught up to him. I think he would have went further, but probably ran out of gas. And he called another play after that to try and get into the end zone. And he actually ran for 74 yards on 7 carries, but one of them was 49 by himself. But Mike, you were just saying if you complete 10 passes, you shouldn't win. He was only 12 for 19 for 112,
right?
1 INT and 1 touchdown. Somehow hung on there. But I'll tell you, I mean, there was some good defensive plays. Bradbury had an interception. Leonard Williams had a 14-yard sack and almost stripped him at the same time too. Just Allen was back there, and I don't know why he didn't throw the ball away or run, because you saw him come running around and just crush him, and he goes down. But I've been talking about Kyler Fackrell the last couple of weeks at the Rams, going against getting in Goff's face, and then last week diving for the pylon for the touchdown against Dallas, and now this week, he forces the fumble, and Tay Crowder picks it up and runs it in for the touchdown. So that was a great turn of events. So I really like him. I think he's really been a key piece of our defense. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, there's a guy on Washington's defensive line has the best last name for a football player. Payne. It's not spelled that way, but I think about Rocky 3 with
Yeah.
Mr. T. What's your prediction? What's your prediction for this fight? Pain. Right? I mean, if I'm him, I just change my name. I change the spelling, Pain, right? And that's what I'm bringing to the quarterback. Oh my God! But
Yeah, this
so, go ahead.
yeah, we talked about that being key, and it's almost like somebody of higher power is watching the show, because we talked about, use your power players, use Slayton, use Ingram. Again, they were the leaders this week. I mean, but obviously there wasn't much offense to be had, but they still, a whopping 2 catches each for 41. Slayton had 41 and a touchdown, which was nice to see. Ingram had 30 yards on 2 catches, which, whatever it is, what it is on such a small, only 12 completions. So, yeah, no business winning that game. But the other key we talked about was letting Jones run and keeping that defense honest. And, yeah, Jones should have been able to throw for a lot more than 12 completions. 7 carries for 74 yards. And, yeah, obviously that long 49-yard run was a huge key to that. But it was I think that was really what kept Washington's defense off balance and allowed them to do anything. But really, I mean, Kyle Allen had 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. You guys, the Giants, you got the W, and I'm glad you got the W, because now the Jets are in that driver's seat for the number 1 pick, and God knows we need it more than anything. But no business winning this game, to be honest. And we talked about the Giants potentially being in first, and I still think they can, because the Eagles still look like shit. And
week 7, it's going to be they're tied for first.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
This week.
Giants,
Thursday
night.
Right. And there's no reason why the Giants can't win that game as well, because the Eagles don't scare you whatsoever. And then you got Washington again shortly after that. Which
and we got look at the next 5 weeks. I don't know if you have the schedule in front of you. It's Washington, Eagles. I want to say Bengals maybe, and then Washington, Eagles again. So it's 5 weeks in a row of potential wins.
We got Washington this week, Eagles, Bucks, Washington, Eagles.
Oh, Bucks. What would be in Brady? I told John preseason.
Yeah,
I told John in the preseason. But we'll see.
After, if we just take what we saw for just this week, with how hard Giants had a fight to beat Washington and how little the Buccaneers had a fight to beat the Packers, I don't really know about that one, but.
Well, they were geared up to go against Rodgers, and they're going to be looking past the Giants, and they're going to get surprised in the Meadowlands. That's what's going to happen.
Well,
it's
I
on
hope so.
record. It's on record. So.
Because I really, really am looking forward to that show between you and John, and just.
Oh, me too.
I mean, that's going to be good. Obviously he's a Patriots fan, but he's still he loves Tom Brady the way Adam Gase loves Frank Gore. So, he may leave, but he's still stalking he's still stalking Tom Brady's Facebook, seeing who he's dating and, where he's going and why he doesn't love him anymore, that type of stuff. So, after the second Eagles game, they do have the Bengals as well. So, potentially 5 wins.
Yeah. And in the next 6 weeks.
By the end of November, you could be looking at that. And then it's just going to be straight losses for the rest of the year. But, Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys at the end,
Cardinals, Browns, Cowboys, they could win.
Yeah.
And you never know. So listen, though, the Giants got really, really, really lucky to win.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Washington had 66 plays to the Giants 45 because the Giants couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the ball outside of Jones, right? Freeman was 18 for 61. I don't know what's wrong with Deion Lewis, but he's got 1 catch for 10 yards, no carries.
Yeah, they're really not using him at all. I don't know why either.
But, at the end of the game, Kyle Allen, everybody knows they got to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
They're up by 7. And somehow, Kyle Allen throws this ball, and as soon as he throws it, you see it's going to be a touchdown, right? Yeah. Because the defender's 4 yards behind the guy, and you're like, what? How did this just happen?
Yep.
And luckily, they got Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron.
That's right.
He's going to go for 2. He's just, I don't care. I'm going to go for 2. And they blew it. So I think I would have kicked the extra point there just because they had so many more plays. You had to think the Giants defense was getting tired,
well, that's why he probably did it. He probably did it thinking, I just marched down the field. They've been on the field more than half the game. And I was nervous with the 2 point because when I saw him going for 2, I thought, oh no, but so I don't know if you saw earlier in a game, he made another, gambler, a riverboat kind of call where they punted and they downed the ball on the 1 yard line. Giants would have had to take over on the 1, but we ran into the kicker. So it's 5-yard penalty. It becomes 4th and 3. Instead, he goes for it and they make it. And then they march down the field and score. And it's like, man, why didn't he just pin us back there at the 1 and make us come out and then maybe have better field position? But he gambles and it works out for him that time. And then at the end of the game, he's like, yeah, I'm gambling again. But think about if he completes the pass or if Allen runs it in, because there was a chance Jabril Peppers came running across the line, the goal line to stop him. And then I think Lawrence or 98 was right in his face and he had to throw the ball into the ground and the game was over. But to me, that's a big statement to say, hey, I believe in you guys. Let's go win this game. We'll be in first place in the East. Let's do it. And then they go home all the way down the turnpike on the bus, and he's the hero. But I mean, he at least he gave his team a chance to win it, right? I mean, then it's like 34 seconds left, and the Giants got to come up and kick a field goal in that little bit of time? No way. No, I don't think it was. I thought it was a gutsy call, and I was afraid it was going to pay off. But the Giants, the defense. I'll tell you, there were a couple of guys that crawled off the field. Slayton, Peppers got hit, was crawling along like his whole body was half paralyzed. He came back. He was on the last play of the game. Slayton came back in, got his leg bent up behind him with his foot. He couldn't even stand up. He was back in. So they really were, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to sit this one out. We're 0-5. No, they wanted to win the game. They wanted to win it for Judge. They gave Judge the game ball at the end. And I thought they fought right to the end. Yeah, the numbers don't show it, but I thought they played a good game and they didn't quit. And they could have easily just laid down and let him score a 2-point conversion, but they held them.
That's the big difference between the Jets and the Giants right now. Is the Jets. That's a team fighting for its coach that believes in the direction of the coach and leadership. They're behind it. We talked about that even in the preseason when he stopped practice and Saquon Barkley was like, yeah, because he didn't like the level of effort, if you remember that. And Saquon said, yeah, absolutely.
That's right. He made them do everything over again. Yeah.
Right. And that's what you want to see. And Gase doesn't have that backing.
No.
Nobody on the team. They're doing the lip service that they have to do. If Gase is our coach, it's not his fault. We need to do better. Blah blah blah. But there's no fire. There's no passion. Nobody's going.
Jamal Adams took it with him,
right?
And he was the one saying all this stuff about Gase. Nobody likes Gase. Everybody hates him.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and just like the preseason, with the like we just talked about, the Jets getting blown out by the second team. As a precursor, everything Jamal Adams said is looking like it's more truth than not, right? Like it's,
of course,
it's just, you can't, as much as, and Jim, you did the shows with me, how fucking mad I was for the way that Adams acted and what he pulled.
It's crybaby and blah, blah, blah. Right. But now you're seeing, hey.
And now, you're starting to see.
Yeah, it was wrong and right at the same time.
Yeah, I still don't condone the way that he acted and what he did to get off of this team. But at the same time, it's toxic, right? And great. He jumped ship and left everybody else behind, which is, to me, it's on, you can't have a team if that's the mentality that's going on with it. But at the same time, when your captain has no control of the ship, it's either go down with the ship or try to swim to shore. And he decided to try to swim to shore. So, yeah. But yeah.
And it's not like the ship is just taking on water. That's not what's happening, right?
No, it's got a gigantic hole in the side.
It's like just this much of the boat is above the water.
Right. Yeah, it's just bobbing right now, just waiting to go down. So it's as a Giants fan, you've got to be, and however you feel about this game and what this win was, like you said, it was way too close against a Washington team that shouldn't have won this game, and they didn't. But it was very, very close. Offensively, if you look at the numbers, Washington was much better. But when it comes down to it, it's good to see that's got to be a really good feeling to see a team fight that hard at the end giving it everything they had. Whether they deserve to win the game or not doesn't matter. The outcome is what it is, and they gave it 110%, which is 180 degrees from what you see from what the Jets are. Like, they, like you said, you watch the end of the game and they were just glad it was over, just like, all right, another one down, just not 9 more games to go and this shit's done. And, some of them are counting down to free agency or probably retirement. CJ Mosley is probably sitting on his couch going, do I have enough money saved up that I could just call it and just, or maybe he'll just start.
Everybody. Not just Mosley, Adams, Bell, all of Fitzpatrick's got to be like, what a joke that this place is over there. So glad I'm not there. Everybody.
I'm saying, like, Mosley might have enough money in the bank now to just say, I don't need to come back to that team. Like, I'll just retire, and I got enough. Hopefully he's invested wisely and he's just set now. He doesn't. He could just call it. So I don't want to see that. I want him back to run the defense. And it makes me sick to think, like, with him and Jamal Adams back there, I would have loved to see the pair of them through the season. But, last year he got hurt in the first week of the season, never came back to anything. And then this year sat out and never got to see the two of them back there running that defense. But God, that would have been fun to watch. It really would have been fun to watch. It sucks, but what are you going to do? Right.
Well, the good news is winning is contagious. And the Giants are playing Thursday night against the Eagles.
Yep.
And we'll be 2-5. That's my prediction.
Yep. I'm still going to stick.
I don't care if it's by 1 point.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I would have liked to have seen a very easy win this week, and they should have been able to do it. They didn't, but I still think there's a very good chance, like we talked about, that they're sitting in first place. That Bucks game, I don't see how they're going to win that game. But then again, nothing this year makes sense anyway. So they could win it and blow them out, and you never know. I mean, the Titans had no business beating the Bills last week, and they still destroyed them. And then Houston gave them, a huge run for their money this week. So nothing makes sense in football.
That's right.
So, God knows the Giants could rattle off 6 wins in a row, and you wouldn't even be surprised.
Just get into the playoffs. That's all you need to do is get in, and then it's open. Do I think they're going to match up against Seattle or any of these? No, but just get there. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, and
you know what? See what happens.
6 wins in the NFC East might get you there this year. In all honesty, like it very well, it could do it. Like it's disgusting. But a division win is a division win. It really doesn't. Really doesn't matter. But at least the Giants are on the board. They're now 1 game out of first place.
Mm-hmm.
So we're halfway to our prediction, and like I said, then we should be interviewing. We should be on with ESPN shortly after that, because I don't think anybody else has predicted the Giants being in first place in 3 weeks. So, so for the fans that are watching this, you're in before we make the big time, and you could be like, I was on those guys before anybody else was. So congratulations to you. But yeah, I don't think we've got too much more. I wish John was here to defend his Patriots, but that was just an ugly game, and we gave it a good one. But Jets suck. That's going to continue on for the foreseeable. I hate to see, like, it was fun when the Lions went winless in the season because it wasn't my team, so it was fun to see that happen. But I don't want to see it happen to the Jets, so I hope at least every team wins 2 games so the Jets could squeeze 1 out, and I could just be like, all right, good. We didn't go over. Like, that's it. So now we just need Cincinnati, Houston, Jacksonville, the Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta. Just a couple more teams to win 1 more game, and then
they'll all win. No, they're all good enough to win another game.
They should be.
Yeah,
they should be. So, we've got to play the Chargers, so that they'll win a game.
If you go over the season, that should be grounds for getting evicted.
It really
it should be. It should be in a contract. Don't even come here if you're not going to win 1 game.
Yeah. Well,
terrible.
Go
What are
Game
you
On
gonna do?
Stadium.
I'm gonna look
Yeah,
for the
but then-
press conference where Gase is fired. Hopefully it's up.
You think it's gonna be all wide eyed and like not know what's going on, like his
Of course.
introductory? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be on this team, and no, you're fired. Oh, yeah, really excited to be on this team. Did somebody say something over there? Yeah,
It's not my fault. The team didn't execute.
right.
Nothing wrong with the calling. There's nothing wrong with the play calling.
I
We had
had
90 minutes of offense in the first half. It's not the play calling.
I
And
had-
we don't.
I had 27 plays perfectly scripted before the game started. It's not my fault. They didn't execute. Well, what about when you were down 24-0? Did you think about changing that? No, they were perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect play calling. Ask my offensive coordinator. He'll back me up on anything I say. He's right. Yeah. Adam Gase is the best. Yeah. Like, did you see those the press conferences with what's his name? I don't even know his fucking name. Loggins or who's the actual?
Yeah. The offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Doggins or Loggins or whatever the hell his name is that he does. He looks like somebody said he looks like a pug, and he really does look like a pug. But yeah, he's up there backing Gase like, oh, it's not all the offensive play calls and blah blah. And then you saw the whole thing with Williams basically cryptically saying, that the defense sucks because it's not all the defense's fault. It's the offense's fault because they can't do anything. The defense is on the field all the time. Like, yeah, of course they're going to give up points because they're playing 90% of the game. They go on, they go 3 and out, 42 seconds comes off the clock, and then the defense is back on the field again. And yeah, you're not going to give up points. So it is what it is. But the coaching staff's coming apart, the team's coming apart.
Yeah. It'll be a new team next year.
Yeah.
New.
Yep. Tank
Reload.
for Trevor.
Yep.
Tank for Trevor. I'm going to start
There you
making
go.
T-shirts and
Another hashtag for you.
yes, that's going on.
Thanks
as
for
well.
Trevor. Yep.
It's going to happen.
So,
Trevor Lawrence, next New York Jets quarterback.
mhm.
So anyway,
Okay.
all right. Well, let's wrap it with that. So continue to hold your heads up, Jets fans. We're here for you throughout the whole season. Me and Mike, definitely. Jim just loves egging it on with his 1-win team, but
Hey,
that's neither here nor there.
you see this when you just get to a championship game, then
Hold on. NFL trade alert. Jets trade captain Steve McClendon and a 2023 7th-round pick to the Bucks in exchange for a 2022 6th-round pick. All right. There
the
we
chips
go.
are starting to fall.
So, like you talked about, fire sale has begun.
Here we go.
Yeah. Congratulations. We got
McClendon and who?
McClendon
And another pick.
and a 2023 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2022 6th-rounder.
What does
So-
that even mean? Nothing.
I always
six-
liked McClendon too. Good for him.
Yeah.
Goes to Tampa. They're going to do good. Playoff
Right.
run.
Well, the key to it, the Jets trade captain Steve McClendon. So keep clearing out
Yeah.
the leadership. So Gase
The captain's gone.
yeah. Anybody who had any kind of a leadership role on this team is out the door, so nobody can question Gase. It's disgusting. So hopefully we'll see what happens between now and our preview show.
It's
of
still
next
early.
week.
Still early yet.
Yep. Sam Darnold will either be in Indianapolis or Pittsburgh. Probably by the time we get together next time, and it'll be the Joe Flacco show for the rest of the year because they won't give James Morgan a shot to go out there and do anything. So, yeah. All right. Well, the chips are falling,
Yep.
and we'll be back to preview next week's. We'll have to get together probably Wednesday, and since you got the Thursday game this week, so get together and talk about that later
Okay.
in a couple days. So.
Sounds good.
So until then, guys, make sure you're commenting, you're subscribing, you're liking the show. We need all the subscribers and views we can get. So please help us out. Jump on there and help us grow because we've got places to go. Ha, cheesy line. Thank you. So until next time, for Mike, for Jim, I don't know if that equates on your guys' screen, but I'm Joe, and we will see you guys next time.